Assalamu alaikum. So we've got, this was a ready-made, one of these pure chiffon suits, one of these designer suits. But unfortunately it's been stitched and stitched very, very lousy. So we're having to remodify this. Now I've totally unpicked this. Every single thing I've unpicked. The main problem in this suit was the neckline. It's got embroidery which goes in straight lines, and because of the straight lines you can actually tell the kind of angle that this embroidery falls on. Now it's got a cut up neckline which goes at an angle, and it sort of distorted the whole of the kameez. Now the other thing is, on the one side it's not too bad, on this side it's not too bad, but as we go along that side the embroidery slants towards the one side. The other thing, the major problem with this suit is it is a large size, but if you look at the length of the armhole cut, it's actually, I'll tell you what the armhole cut is. Now it's a good job that we're going to shorten this kameez, because the armhole cut is about 11 inches down, which is about 2 inches too much. Okay, so we're having to remodify this. I've put it on a black background so you can sort of see where the problems are. It's a bit more visual. Now the straight embroidery falls around about here. And if we straighten the embroidery, that basically means that we take away about 1.5 lines away from the edge. Now it's a good job it was wide, because there's no way we can. Now I'm going to have to take it on this line and take that much excess away. So the first thing to do is to get it all laid out properly and to take away, trim it too. There's just so much of an angle. There's virtually. Now on a flimsy fabric, and on top of it it's sort of, that's probably about the maximum I'm going to straighten it out. So I'm going to take out some from the shoulders, some from the neckline itself, some from the side of the kameez, to try and balance it out. See what we can salvage. So, having cut little bits from so many different places, the kameez looks a little bit more squared now. And what I'm going to do now is take the lining and try and take on so many pieces off from so many different places. So let's get the lining. I'm going to press that, place that underneath, and then cut. See where we need to trim that down as well. So I'm going to point out a couple of mistakes, and then it sort of helps us realize where mistakes are. Sometimes people ask me, I've got this problem with my dress, I don't know how to fix it, and it's not a simple solution that a person so far away can actually point out to you. Now this is lining, okay, it was stuck on a ready-made kameez, and the top layer of this was chiffon. You can see the overlocking stitches. I've not actually cut into it, I've really just unpicked it, but the difference between the front and the back is over 1.5 inches of one side, which is more, and the other side is less. Now what I've done is I've laid this out evenly, and you know, that's folded from the neckline, sleeve, arms, and then I've got a massive difference there. There is a slight bit of a difference on the top as well. The armhole is actually quite wide as well, but despite that, this big massive difference will reflect and it will pull the dress to one side. So getting things like this absolutely perfect is essential in order to get a good fitting garment. And if this is not going to be right, then how are we going to get kameez that's fitting is right? Now you see, I've unpicked it. I've not taken, the only portion that I've not taken off is the bottom piping. Apart from that, I've taken it all apart. And you know, I mean, like, this is not too bad. It's leveled out okay on the chiffon, but the armhole itself is quite wide. So I'm going to trim. I needed to shorten the dress slightly, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some of this away. The reason why I unpicked this without realizing, I didn't realize that there was this massive problem in the chemise fabric. I basically took it apart because the chemise was hanging too far high up, and I wanted to unpick it. Because I was going to shorten the dress, I wanted to bring the chemise fabric a little bit lower, and then having pressed it and put it equal, I've realized that there's a massive flaw. So first thing I need to do is get rid of that flaw, even it out, and then place it on top of the kameez fabric and straighten that out. And so what you're seeing here is the sleeves on this pre-made dress. As you can see, there is absolutely no cutting whatsoever, and no wonder it looked so bad. There's absolutely no cutting, and then it had this lining which has got a slight marginal cut. Okay, and how can you get any kind of fitting if that's what cutting is going to look like? So what I'm going to do is cut this to shape now. I'm going to place the lining underneath. I mean, sleeves need some kind of, when she had it on, I mean, my mum was having a go at me that why are you unpicking it all? And I'm just so glad that I did unpick it all, because I don't know how these people make stuff like this and get away with selling it. And now she's paid £45 for this suit, but you know what, I wouldn't spend £5 on it the way it looked. It's amazing how much sweet talking can do to a person who's not very familiar with buying. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut that much shape into the sleeve. That looks like some. I'll show you again now with a close-up of what that looks like. As you can see now, you've got the curve of the sleeve, and at least you can attempt to get some kind of a decent fit out of this.